Superman is quote unquote dead.
Yes, he is, but also our showrunners are famous for a good old bait and switch. But no, he's dead. And Lois, we're not dropping, obviously, the cancer storyline. She still has cancer in season 4, but that storyline sort of does have to take a back seat because Superman dies and she has to kind of step into the heroine role and sort of keep her family together.
Yeah, and what does that mean for her as she's picking up the pieces and dealing with the aftermath of all of that?
It just means life gets lonelier and harder, but if there's a woman who represents strength, it's Lois Lane, and she keeps it together for the sake of her sons. Yeah.
And, we do know that your husband directed an episode.
Yes. David Gentoli, my husband, directed episode 3 of Superman and Lois. He did a beautiful job. And also he had a tough episode. He had to do it in 7 days. And we usually shoot our episodes in 10 or 11. And he got it done and he did a gorgeous job. And he also had a very emotional episode and he killed it. And in fact, the little teaser that was released earlier the week was a lot of shots from his episode. I was like, oh my God, babe, that's your episode. Yeah, I'm just really proud of him. And I also was mentioning to someone else, he actually voices Batman. So I'm married to Batman and Superman.
But what was it like being directed by him, and what can you tease about the episode?
You know what? He's directed me before. He directed me on Grimm, and he directed on A Million Little Things, and it was just very professional. The one thing I said to him is, because there was a sort of a lovey-dovey scene with Tyler, is not that David gets jealous, but I was like, don't joke around in that scene. Let me and Tyler really fall into that, the dynamic that we have when we're on set together. But he's such a pro.
And it looks like this season that Jordan is trying to step up in the superhero role in the absence of his father.
Yeah.
Now, do you think he's ready to take that on, or is he in over his head?
Well, I mean, in the teaser trailer that was already released, I do yell at him and I say, you are not your father. So I don't think Lois thinks he's quite at the Superman level yet. And because she's already lost Superman, she does not want to lose either of her sons. So she gets extra mama bear protective of him. And also just don't let your ego get to you. You have not had as much experience as your dad had, and you can't just automatically fill his shoes.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how that's going to impact her as well, because she is dealing with a lot. Her son trying to be a superhero and, all this stuff going on. What's her mindset this season?
I mean, her mindset is basically take down Lex Luthor again, but do it in a way with integrity that she can be proud of, because, Lois didn't know that it wasn't Lex on that tape when she put him behind bars. And I think she wants to, make amends for that. And then once she realizes, no, he actually is as evil as everybody was saying, as Pia warned her, basically she's now fighting with Superman gone, Doomsday, and Lex Luthor all on her own.
Yeah. And what was it like on that final day of set?
It was really emotional. A lot of people were crying. The crew was crying. Tyler and I were crying. I had written a speech thanking the crew for all their hard work. And, part of the reason I did Grimm for 6 years and we did 123 episodes, and the crew is your family by the end of that run. That's why I prefer TV to film, because film, you bond for a couple months and then everyone's like, bye, and dissipates and, goes on to their own life. And, TV is you see these people every day for years. And so saying goodbye to them is really difficult.
Yeah, and did you get to take a souvenir from set, or can you say?
I do. I have from the pilot episode, I have a mug that was on Lois's desk in the Daily Planet. That's a blue mug with an L on it. I was also given, it's funny, I don't like props unless they're necessary. I kind of feel like, you see women in scenes a lot with these purses and they're just kind of adjusting them all the time. And I'm like, she didn't need to have the purse, And so I established early on, I'm like, unless the prop, there's a need for the prop, I prefer to be propless. So I do have her sort of briefcase with the LL on it that was gifted to me at the end of the show, and then her little notebook that she wrote in. And then I asked for set deck in the Bizarro episode, which was season 2, episode 10. There's this gorgeous painting on the wall that sort of reminded me of Salvador Dali, and it's this elephant from behind sitting on a tree branch. And I just loved it. And I said, may I have it? And they said, well, of course, we're never doing the Bizarro world again. So I have that. that, and that's hanging in my house. Yeah.
You got some great snags.
some good
Yeah, some
swag.
good finds.
Yeah.
The series finale is titled "It Went By So Fast." So, do you think that's an accurate reflection of how you feel about it?
I do. I think the fans feel that same way too. I'd be lying if I said I didn't want more seasons. I was certainly anticipating more seasons of the show. That said, I'm really grateful to DC Comics and Warner Brothers and the CW for letting us finish the series and letting us give it a proper ending. And I know James Gunn and Peter Safran socially. I think they're both brilliant. I would love to work with James Gunn one day on one of his films, and I really trust him. And I trust that whatever vision they're concocting for the DC universe going forward is going to be awesome.